Imagine growing up believing you were simply adopted by loving parents. Now, picture learning the reason you were adopted is because your biological parents were at the center of one of the darkest crimes imaginable. This is the real-life story of a young woman who uncovered a past so horrifying it could only be compared to fiction, except every word of it was true. For most of her life, Emily, name changed for privacy, believed she was just like any other adopted child. She had a quiet upbringing in the suburbs of Ohio, raised by a kind couple who gave her everything she needed: stability, education, and love. Her adoptive parents told her she had been adopted as an infant, that her biological parents were unable to care for her. She never questioned it. But by the time she turned 24, Emily's curiosity got the better of her. Fueled by the popularity of DNA testing kits like 23andMe and Ancestry DNA, she submitted her sample, expecting maybe to find some distant relatives, a fun peek into her heritage. What she found instead would unravel her entire world. When the results came back, they were confusing. Her DNA matched with dozens of relatives she had never heard of, including a first cousin she couldn't place. After some digging, and with the help of online genealogy groups, Emily tracked down her birth mother, but what she found wasn't a warm reunion. Her biological mother had vanished in the 90s, presumed dead. Even more disturbing, her biological father was still alive, serving a life sentence in prison. But why? Emily kept digging, obsessed with the truth. What she discovered shocked everyone. Emily's birth mother, Rachel, was murdered when Emily was only a few weeks old. Her father, Daniel, was convicted of the murder, and the trial had made local headlines at the time. It was brutal. The prosecution had argued that Daniel killed Rachel in a violent domestic dispute and then tried to cover it up. The baby, Emily, was spared, found crying in the crib hours later. Child Protective Services placed her into emergency foster care, and she was quickly adopted. Her adoptive parents chose not to tell her the details, thinking it was too traumatic. They thought they were protecting her. But as Emily looked deeper into the case, something didn't sit right. There were rumors in old message boards and forums claiming Daniel always maintained his innocence, that there was no physical evidence tying him to the murder. Some even claimed the crime scene was contaminated and that key witnesses had lied. One thread mentioned a potential second suspect, someone close to Rachel. A co-worker she had complained about. Someone who vanished shortly after the murder and was never investigated properly. Could it be that Emily's father was wrongly convicted? Or was this just internet conspiracy theory gone wild? Emily began corresponding with her father in prison. The letters started formally, cautious, measured. But with each exchange, a darker picture of Rachel's life started to emerge. Daniel claimed Rachel had been in danger, that she was trying to leave someone, that the night she died, she had told him she was being followed. Emily eventually arranged a prison visit. Seeing the man who had haunted her identity for so long was surreal. Daniel looked nothing like the monster she imagined. He cried when he saw her. He swore on everything that he didn't kill Rachel, that he tried to protect her and failed. When Emily asked why he never fought harder for custody or appeal, he said, "Who would believe a convicted killer?" His appeal had failed years ago. Evidence had degraded. Witnesses moved on. But Emily left that prison convinced there was more to the story. Today, Emily continues to investigate her mother's murder. She's filed FOIA requests, hired a private investigator, and is working with a podcast team to shine a light on the case. The truth may never be fully known, but one thing is certain: she wasn't just adopted. She was pulled from the wreckage of a real-life nightmare. Emily's story reminds us that sometimes the past isn't just forgotten, it's buried on purpose. And unearthing it can reveal truths far darker than we're prepared for. If you found this story compelling, subscribe for more true crime cases that go beyond the headlines and shine a light on the victims, the survivors, and the questions still unanswered.